All right, welcome back to the show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. Episode 121. You ready for this? More energy. Do you need some? I got some energy. I'll give you a little bit today. We're going to be talking about ways that you can increase your energy today on episode 121. 121 of the School of Shred. This is the one and only, baby. So, you know how the drill goes. You know the deal here. Being part of Shred Nation is a full contact participation event. And what I need you to do is throw me a flex emoji in the comments if you're down with this, if you want to learn something today, if you're ready for some knowledge bombs here. We're going to break down 3 different categories in which you can increase your energy so you can have a few takeaways in this show today, in this episode. So you can have some takeaways to create more energy, which will create more inside your life. So the show is here Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Shout out to Instagram. And then you can always find us on Spotify and iTunes. Let's get it. So today, like I said, we're talking about energy. We're going to break this into 3 categories here, folks. We're going to talk about sleep, exercise, and nutrition. So one of the main reasons that people start working out, what I've found over my time as a trainer, you know, a lot of times it's fat loss, a lot of times it's gaining muscle. That's all great stuff. But most of the time, it can be traced back to wanting to have more energy. More energy produces more inside of your life. More energy can help a parent play with their kids more after they work an 8-hour day. More energy provides the motivation and the fuel for somebody to go exercise when they get off work. So energy is one of the main contributing factors to overall success in reaching our goals. So focusing on energy and you know, creating a plan that provides energy will then provide enthusiasm, which will then get you to your goals, like I had mentioned. So if we want to create more energy inside of our life, the first thing that we want to look at is sleep. Now, that's a low-hanging fruit. Okay, it's a low-hanging fruit. We know that we need to rest, regenerate, and recover. And we do that when we sleep the best. That's when all of our anabolic hormones are the highest, like testosterone. That's when stress hormones are lowest, or should be rather, like cortisol, adrenaline, and noradrenaline. And so for this reason, we can capitalize on growth hormone spikes and testosterone, which helps us recover, which provides us energy and vitality. Testosterone is the vitality hormone. And so we want to sleep 7 to 9 hours a night. That's going to be the first key point here. So 7 to 9 hours a night. And then, you know, another thing I talk about a lot is not just 7 to 9 hours a night, but obeying a sleep schedule. This is a huge one. It's very simple, but it's not often talked about enough or looked into or practiced by people. And what I mean by that is if you get up at 6 in the morning every day for work, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday you sleep until 8 or 9, and Sunday you sleep until 8 or 9. Maybe you go to bed at 10 o'clock every night, Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday, and then on Fridays you're staying up till midnight or 1 or 2 in the morning. Even if you're getting your 8 hours there, it's not optimizing it, because what you're doing is you're not getting your body into this swing of things. And this swing of things is called the circadian rhythm. And what you do is you train your body's hormonal responses with your sleep schedule. Because if you wake up at 6 a.m. every day, you're going to have certain key times where you're producing more cortisol, you're more in a fight or flight state. And then you have times where you're more in a sympathetic or a parasympathetic state, which is this relaxation state. So you can train this if you get your body into a routine. See, the physiology, the body likes a routine that's consistent, because our bodies run off the sun-moon cycles. Okay, so if you're going to go to bed at 10 o'clock during the week, I recommend going to bed at 10 o'clock on the weekends as well. If you say, hey, well, I like to have some me time during the weekends, that's perfectly fine. Just do it in the morning. Still get up early during the weekend, and then have that time to pursue your hobby, your passion. I mean, if you want to veg out and watch TV, even do that early, honestly, if you're going to do it on the weekend. So for me personally, this is something that I obey all the time now. So if I end up getting to bed late, sometimes I always wake up at the same time, because I don't want that slippery slope of waking up later and then the sleep schedule all acts. Consider that. So you have 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. And then the second thing is obeying a sleep schedule. The third thing is getting your body to nasal breathe. Okay, so when we nasal breathe, it helps our blood chemistry quite a bit as far as CO2 and oxygen, and oxygenating our bodies. So there's much more of a filtration process that happens when we breathe through our nose. Furthermore, we're not producing as much CO2. And when we're breathing through our nose, it actually helps our heart rate drop. Okay, it helps our heart rate drop when we're sleeping. It can actually help oral health as well and tooth health. And so what we can do is take a piece of Scotch tape, dry the lips off, and then throw some Scotch tape over the lips. And that is going to ensure that you sleep with nasal breathing through your nose. Now, some people get very concerned of this. If you have obstructions in your nose, you're going to notice that breathing through your nose is very hard, which is precisely why you should start to look into this area and start to go down this rabbit hole and maybe get in with your ear, nose, and throat doctor. They can help you figure all of that out, because if you're not able to breathe through your nose correctly, if you have obstructions in your nose, which a lot of people do, our physiology has actually changed in the last several years, hundreds and thousands of years. Read a good book. It's called, what is it called? Breathe. I think it's called Breathe. Talks about this, though, that humans actually, our palate has changed. And so it's created these obstructions and these deviated septums and whatnot. So it can be hard to breathe through the nose, but you can always start training it. You also have a separate gut, or not a gut, you have a separate microbiome in your nose. And so through breathing through your nose, by mouth taping, you're actually going to increase that microbiome. One of the things that I do is I actually do mouth taping when I walk sometimes as well. So if I go out for my daily walks, I'll tape my mouth, which seems crazy. I'll tape my mouth shut, and it forces me to breathe out of my nose the entire time I go on a walk, up to 60 to 90 minutes. So mouth taping can definitely help you get more regenerative, restful sleep. The next thing is blackout curtains for sleep. Okay, this creates more energy because you get better sleep. Okay, remember our key point that we're talking about today is how to create more energy. So we have blackout curtains, which make a completely pitch black room. If you're somebody that gets up at 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning, you're going to have to battle a little bit of sunshine. And so you want to keep very, very dark sleeping quarters. It allows the body to continue to get that regenerative sleep and not have any awakening response when the sun comes up and spiking cortisol and all of that. So we can kind of trick our physiology and our fight or flight response that happens when we're sleeping. One thing that happens is right before you wake up, your body actually increases blood pressure. Norepinephrine, so noradrenaline goes up, and that increases blood pressure as you start to wake. So if you have blackout curtains and you want to get some extra sleep, this actually helps trick that. And so you can get restful sleep for the last, whatever it is, hour or 2 hours when the sun is starting to come up and it's getting light outside. So a dark room is very important. The next thing is you can supplement with something like vitamin C. Vitamin C, or you do a mega dose of it where you titrate up over time, where you're doing a couple thousand milligrams. Like I've said before, don't do this right away, or you might poop the bed. Holla, that's no fun. So what you want to do is start with like 500 milligrams for a week or two, then go to 1,000 milligrams for a week or two, and then 1,500 for a week or two. If you get any GI distress, you want to hang out there for a little bit or go down. You can basically turn vitamin C megadosing into a laxative, which you don't want to do. But what vitamin C can do is help bring down cortisol levels. So a fun fact is that the adrenal glands are the #1 storage site for vitamin C. And that's also where we produce our cortisol. So the next one is magnesium in the form of magnesium threonate. So magnesium threonate can help increase GABA, which is a neurotransmitter that helps us fall asleep. And so these two supplements I'm talking about, if you take them 60 to 90 minutes before bed, they can help you get more regenerative sleep. So magnesium is a big one. Most people are deficient in magnesium. We don't eat a lot of magnesium anymore, partially because our food supply just doesn't have it in there because we've depleted the soil with mega farming. So, and then the last one is tea. A nice cup of warm tea, mate. A nice cup of warm tea, like chamomile tea right before bed, like an hour before bed, can really help you fall into this rest and digestive state. and relax the body. Right now, it's December. It's almost Christmas. One of the teas that I like is peppermint tea. It helps soothe the nervous system. So these are things that help you get better sleep, which help produce more energy inside your day. The second thing that you can do to get more energy is going to be exercise. Okay, so exercise, specifically higher intensity exercise like resistance training, what it does is helps produce this fight or flight response. Now, if you're having a poor cortisol awakening response, you have a poor car, you need to fix your car. You can exercise in the morning, which is hard in the beginning, but your body will get into the swing of it. But you can exercise in the morning, which spikes cortisol and epinephrine and norepinephrine, which will help you create that cortisol awakening response, and it can help get your circadian rhythm back on track. So exercising early can help give you that energy. Something that's positive, very positive about cortisol, because cortisol a lot of the time, it seems like it's bad because it's this stress hormone. It's actually very good for you. It's essential, obviously, or you wouldn't have it. It's just having it elevated all the time. We live in 2020 right now, which is a pretty stressful society. We have so much access to information. We have a lot of psychological stress. And so we're just in a time where cortisol tends to be higher in people, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. It's actually really good for you in the right amounts, specifically in the morning and specifically when you work out. Those are times where you want high cortisol production. That's all good. Cortisol stimulates the nervous system. It gives you energy, and that actually helps you speed the metabolism up as well. So, this is one of the things where we have to talk about context. Things are not bad all the time. So cortisol is good when we're working out. So anyway, exercise and resistance training helps spike cortisol, which provides the body energy, which is amazing. You got to give a little energy to get a little energy. It's like Napoleon Hill says, there's no such thing as something for nothing. Give a little energy to get a lot of energy. So exercise helps with that. The second thing that you can do with exercise to create more energy inside your day is go for several walks a day. This just gets the blood moving. This oxygenates the body. Like I said, if you want to try something like mouth taping and do nasal breathing while you go on a short walk, that's great. If you were to do something like a Pomodoro method, which is a studying method, you could work like that. Or say you put your work day, if you're working from home, into blocks. So you do an hour of focused work, focused attention, or 2 hours, and then you go on a 15-20 minute walk every hour to two. And then so you're doing maybe 3 or 4 little walks a day. Maybe you're just walking around the block, but you're getting outside, you're getting some fresh air, you're getting oxygen in. This helps oxygenate the body and energize the body. This is something I've started doing in the last year that has become really the pinnacle and one of the cornerstones of my program is just this low-level activity and sneaking it in. Sometimes I go for very long walks where I commit, basically all of that a lot of time, an hour and a half. I'll go for a long walk. And then sometimes I do a lot of short walks. It just kind of ebbs and flows. But this is something that can definitely help with energy levels. I had talked about before on this show when the gyms were open and I was working again, which I'll get back to here shortly. But anyway, there's treadmills at the gym, right, that I work at. So in between clients, what I would do is I'd jump on a treadmill and do a light walk for 10 minutes in between clients. And it actually charged me up and energized me before each client. Got the body temperature up and oxygenated the body. So several short walks produces a lot of energy, which is great. And then the next thing is modulating workout intensity. So the first classification that will fall under with this to create more energy with exercise is if you're, not used to exercising, higher intensity exercise where you're sweating and it's tough, that's going to give you energy. That's great. If you're on the other side of the continuum where maybe you work out really, really hard and you like getting after it, you might want to kick back the intensity for a little bit, and that might provide a very potent energy source for you. Maybe you're working out too hard to where you're actually sucking all the energy out of your body. That can definitely happen. So people who are into different sports, lifting sports and things like that, where they have a very strong goal for why they need to train extremely hard, these people have a tendency to fall into this where it can start to actually take energy from them because they use all their energy during the workout and then they're sore and tired, the nervous system is taxed. Nothing wrong with that. Everything with that in short-term cycles, mesocycles, microcycle training, like 4 to 6 weeks. But, you can modulate that, go back and forth on it, and that can help you produce more energy inside your day. The last thing we're going to talk about to produce more energy, to get more energy so you can live a better life, is going to be nutrition. Okay, this is a big one. Obviously, you figure we're probably going to talk about this. So nutrition, and when we talk about nutrition for energy, let's talk about water first. Drinking enough water is one of the most important things you can do for energy. Water is the world's first energy drink. I don't know if you know that, but long before the main brands and the main companies, water was the original energy drink. So all of the cells in your body need water. Water is obviously crucial for blood plasma levels. It's crucial for blood pressure. It's crucial for energy and glycogen. It's crucial for synovial fluid, which is like joint lubricant. So we need a lot of water in our day. And so how much water? 15 milliliters per pound of body weight. You just take that and convert that into liters. And if you need to, you can convert that via the internet. You can convert that into fluid ounces. So 15 milliliters per pound of body weight, at least a day. You can do more if you want to, but water is definitely something that's a very potent energizer. And also, a lot of times when we're thirsty, it will mask as hunger, and we tend to overeat if we're not hydrated. So there's a lot of reasons to hydrate and drink lots of water, lots of fluids. And water can definitely help you with producing more energy inside your day. The next thing is having fats early in the day. So if we have fats and lower carbs earlier in the day, what we're going to do is stabilize energy levels because, and the reason that we're stabilizing energy levels, and what does that actually mean? Well, it means that we're controlling blood sugar spikes for the most part, and we're keeping blood glucose levels very stable. Fat is also satiating, so we're less likely to wonder and ponder and want more food. So it can help us have very sustained energy. I remember the first time I started doing a high-fat breakfast and had bought into it. It was just bacon and eggs that I had, and I was used to eating 5 to 6 meals at that time. I went through the first half of my day. It was 6 hours before I even thought about food, and I was like, wow, this is kind of crazy. I'm not even hungry. So if you have just a nice high-fat breakfast, it can really set you up for success. And that can help produce more energy inside your day because you're not having this up and down of insulin going up and then coming down, and blood sugar is all over the place, and then the brain needs fuel. It's not flexible and all that stuff that we've talked about before on this show. All right, we're moving quick. So the next one is carbs. So carbohydrates can help with energy levels. So the two best times to have carbohydrates seem to be post-workout and before bed. And the reason is because post-workout, we're getting a nice insulin spike, and that can charge us up. That can definitely charge us up and give us energy. And then the before bed is actually for a different reason, because it helps relieve anxiety, or not anxiety. It can relieve anxiety by reducing cortisol levels and producing more neurotransmitters. And when we up neurotransmitter production, we can create more melatonin. When we create more melatonin, we can get more restful, deep sleep. And a nice big insulin spike before bed can actually help us fall into this rest and digest state. So, and then, having enough carbohydrates where we're creating a situation where our bodies are metabolically flexible, the ability to go back and forth between burning glucose for fuel and burning fat for fuel, that is a very potent metabolic health metric right there. And the way that we nourish that is by having carbohydrates and having fat and going back and forth. So when we're having fats early in the day, we're setting ourselves up with nice sustained energy. And then after a workout, and then before bed, that helps that insulin spike with carbohydrates, and having carbohydrates that also make sure that we're replenishing glycogen in a 24-hour timeline. Question comes up of, what if I work out early? Can I have carbs after that? Absolutely. Have carbs then, and then maybe you just go fats and protein the rest of the day until dinner, and then you have your carbs again. Totally fine. That works well. Let's see here. The next thing for nutrition is caffeine. So caffeine is awesome. I think we all like caffeine. But the thing is that your body becomes desensitized to it over time. So if you are struggling with energy and you're drinking coffee every day, or you have any kind of energy supplement of your choice, you might want to consider taking some time off of it. Take some time off it. Take a week off. Take 2 weeks off. Take a month off if you can. It's going to be a struggle in the beginning, but you will prevail with more energy later. And the reason is because as you decompress off of it, you're going to produce energy naturally again. And then when you throw it back in, you're going to get that spike and that jolt again. Something else you can try doing, something that I find very helpful for myself, is alternating my caffeine days. If I do caffeine every single day over and over and over, I tend to get sleepy when I'm drinking caffeine, which is kind of wild. But when I alternate my days and I have something like a tea, something that doesn't have like a caffeine-free tea in the mornings instead of coffee, or I have powdered cacao and make almost like a cocoa out of it. and alternate those days. That produces more energy for me. And so that's proven to be pretty good as well. If you're not drinking caffeine, well, maybe you can try drinking a little caffeine for more energy. If you have a little bit of caffeine, like black coffee or green tea or something like that, that's low in calories, low in carbohydrates, and higher in caffeine, before you go to do exercise, it can actually help speed up the fat burning process. So if you're going to go on a nice long walk in the morning, a cup of black coffee is nice, or some green tea. Or if you're going to go work out and exercise, a little bit of caffeine before can help as well. So that is the 3 teaching points for today. So we have sleep, we have exercise, and we have nutrition. Those 3 combined can produce more energy in your day. And the whole reason we want more energy is so we can go produce more inside of our business, inside of our family, our relationships, and our life, right? This is about holistic health, and we want to be better every day. And so I hope you learned something from this. So to recap everything, the first thing you can do for energy is get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. You can mouth tape when you sleep. You can obey a sleep schedule. You can get blackout curtains to block out all the light when you're sleeping so you don't wake up. You can do vitamin C mega dosing if you titrate up over time and slowly walk the amount up. You can take magnesium threonate. You can drink a little bit of tea before bed. This helps you get more regenerative sleep and fall into a deeper sleep. The second thing was exercise. Control cortisol spikes, and you can get early cortisol spikes with early exercise. You can modulate your intensity and go for several walks a day. And then the last thing was nutrition: water, fats, carbohydrates at the right times, and then caffeine rotation. So that's it for episode 121. Ask me any questions that you have. We are getting ready for our Q&A this Friday. So that will be the next opportunity to get some free answers to questions that you have. And I want to try and provide you some value and help you out as we navigate the holiday season. So I hope you're all healthy. With that, I want you to stay strong and healthy in body, stay relentless and energized in spirit, and stay determined in your pursuits today and every day. That's spelled shred. I'll go shred the day and get better in every way. Until tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time, I will see you. Class is dismissed.